Here. Thank you. Dominic, no stranger to Grandma's Marathon. It's a special race for you, isn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah. You've had great success here. Tell me what's so magical for you, athletically and perhaps otherwise, coming to Grandma's.
Let me please just to thank the landmass organizers who invited me back to run Grandma's Marathon. I am so excited.
Is it working? Please continue. Yeah. Or did you have more to say?
No.
That's what I thought. Looks like you were on your way to breaking, of course, record here last year. What happened at the end of the race last year?
I don't know what's happening. My target was to lower my record, but I don't know what's happened. At this time, I hope you can do teamwork. I hope you can lower the first record.
And have you had very good training coming into Grandma's?
Yes.
And you're training in New Mexico?
No, I train in Kenya.
You're in Kenya.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Questions here for Dominic?
Dominic, where do you train in Kenya?
Sorry?
Where do you train in Kenya?
In Eldoret.
Okay.
Dominic, is that where you're from? I forget the city where you're from.
I come from Kisii, but I train in Eldoret. Yeah.
Dominic, tell us a little bit about the culture of Kenya and its love of running.
Sorry?
Can you tell us about the pride of running in Kenya?
Mhm.
You have so many legends from Kenya.
Yeah, in Kenya we have many legends, especially my inspired from Coach Dominic. Yeah, I will take it serious from him. What he tells me, I do. Yeah.
When people have embraced running in Kenya in such a special way,
Yeah.
and there's so much love for it, and people understand it. You must have a lot of fans that know who you all are and are interested in your results.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dominic, do you train with a group there in Kenya?
Yes, I train with a group. Yeah.
Have any of them ever come over here to run Grandma's Marathon with you?
I am here with Elisha Barano.
He's from your group.
Yeah. Yeah, we train together. Yeah.
Did you go right into running, or did you come up through the police or the army? Did you belong to their teams?
Sir?
Did you belong to teams from the police or the army, or did you go right into running?
No, don't run.
Dominic, you and Elisha train together.
Yes.
Are there other runners nearby who train with specifically you and Elisha?
Yes.
How many?
Around the 15 to 20.
Do they also win Houston?
Yes.
Are the two of you the best runners in that group?
Yes. Others are upcoming.
Upcoming. Okay. Got it.
Dominic, for when you win a race like Grandma's Marathon, what does that mean to your family and to your running group when you win a big race in the marathon?
And I really have to race like this in landmass. Like my family, they are happy, and my team, because of what the achievement we made. Yeah.
Dominic, when you train, are there some times when you end up running head to head with Elisha and then who wins? I said, when you're training, you end up sometimes running a training drill where you're side by side and you're competing with
Yes.
Who wins those?
No, we go with a pace.
But who wins?
No, by the way, we finish together. We do teamwork.
You try to time it at the end so you come in together, or do you beat them by a step?
We come together.
Good answer.
Do any Europeans train with your group?
Sorry?
Any Europeans train with your group, Australians, anybody?
No.
How has the prize money you've won here and elsewhere, how's it changed your life?
The first man I went for some lessons even in Alma. It helped me a lot and improved my income.
Were you able to like buy a house or start a business or you farm?
I invest in lentils and fruits.
Any other questions here?
Are you excited about the cooler weather?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won Houston recently, and you won, was it Philadelphia
Yeah.
last year?
Yes.
Can you tell us about those races?
About the Philadelphia, they used to say 30 days was cold, but I managed to do it. But I think Myanmar's tomorrow it will be okay.
Mike, when you were growing up, did you live outside of town in a rural area, or did you live in the city?
In the city.
So you grew up in the city.
Yes.
But running is actually kind of a way of transportation there, right? I mean, you run to get places, don't you?
Yes.
No, I mean, no one's picking you up in a station wagon to take you to practice. You go on your own, correct?
Mike, you have a question?
Yeah, for Kevin, welcome to Ground Launch, your first one, so welcome to Duluth.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you got a couple of marathons here that you've run, 209 and one at altitude, I think, at Utah Valley. Do you train at altitude? Are you from the Utah area? You obviously went to school out there, I believe. But yeah, just give us an idea, because there's only 2 marathons that we are aware that you run, but have you run more than just 2?
Yeah, so born and raised in Utah, live and train out there as well. I train solo. I don't necessarily have a team as well. My brothers come here, so maybe the name Lynch sounds familiar, but other than that, sometimes me and my brother run together. But we're 2 different cities, 2 different lives, so most of the time it is solo. And I've only run 2 marathons. One of them was in preparation for this one. You just use it as a long run, so wouldn't necessarily look at that as an all-out effort, but more of a all systems check type thing.
How did you hear about Grounds?
My agent and my brother, who I think last time he ran, he did qualify for the Olympic trials, and then so my agent said, hey, this is a good one to run, fast time, make sure we get into the trials, things like that.
So Kevin, where do you call your hometown? Salt Lake or Orem? Or?
I call my hometown Eagle Mountain, which is pretty in the middle of nowhere. Not as quite as Kenya probably, but it is pretty out there in Utah, about 45 minutes south of Salt Lake.
Eagle Mountain.
Yeah.
What's the altitude there, about a mile?
It's about 5,000 feet.
You're here in Duluth, and obviously you're here for a reason. I mean, what is your main reason for being here? To run fast tomorrow, to win tomorrow?
I think, I'd love to win. Obviously, I think I'd like to put myself in contention, but I know that like Dominic and some others are really good competition here. So ultimately, it's just to feel good about my performance, whether that's to win or if it's in the top 5. And if I feel good about that and race strategically, then I think I can put myself in a position to win.
What do you think you're capable of running tomorrow?
About my PR around 209.
Okay, sure.
Kevin, did you run the 209 at that marathon project? Was that?
No, so I ran it. Another kind of note about my marathons is I've also won each marathon by over 20 minutes.
Wow.
So I've never,
209?
ran in California in Big Bear.
Okay.
So it was some significant downhill, and I won't shy away from that, but was at altitude and it was a solo.
Right. Good for you.
So I'm excited for the I'm excited to run with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, that downhill course, I mean, it was substantial in some areas, you know, how did you recover from that? I mean, your quads have been just torn apart.
Surprisingly, it was actually my hamstrings.
Oh, was your, oh,
I wasn't, I must have trained my quads well enough, but my hamstrings
okay.
were lacking apparently.
Okay.
But the recovery was, I trained significant for a lot of rolling hills. So blessed in Eagle Mountain, there's a lot of ups and downs, and so I would run those every single day, about an average of at least 1,000 feet of elevation gain on my runs. So that's just what I did, is I have to get used to being strong and then used to going down as well and recovering from that.
So you mentioned you had an agent, so I'm assuming that perhaps you just run. Are you working as well? Do you have a job? Or?
I do work as well, so this is kind of like a side gig for me, side hustle, if you will, literally. So yeah, I work full time.
Doing what?
I'm an account executive, so we're a nice worker salesman.
And you went, I lived in Salt Lake for a while. I'm not familiar with Utah Valley. Is that a college?
Yeah.
Where is it?
So it's about, I don't know, maybe 5 miles north of BYU. We're the better school, but
It's obviously nowhere near the size of BYU.
It's actually larger. We're the largest university in the state.
Really?
But we just don't. We don't brag as much.
Not like the Utes, yeah.
That's true.
So Kevin, when the gals were up here, they were talking about, everybody's wearing the super shoes, the carbon plated shoes, and they were saying that yes, it helps, maybe run faster, but the recovery was the biggest thing. So after running the one where you ran the 209 with a lot of downhill, do you think those super shoes helped with your recovery? Did you wear them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I only wear them to race. I don't necessarily wear them to train.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think the biggest thing is it does help with recovery. You're able to do more and recover less. But I do think they help also with your performance.
Sure.
For sure, but mainly recovery.
Kevin, what's your training look like coming into this, like mileage wise, things like that?
So I run relatively low miles. I run 6 days a week, and I run 90 miles in those 6 days. In college, I was injured almost every single season. A lot of those were really weird injuries, and so I've had to learn how can I maximize my mileage by running less, but make those 90 miles count as much as possible.
Are you doing double thresholds?
No.
It's a joke.
Actually, I do 90 miles in 6 runs. I don't do no doubles.
All singles.
All singles.
Do you do anything in the afternoon? I mean, you work, obviously, but do you walk
sometimes we'll go on like a walk, but I've found that by eliminating the doubles, that typically is where that saves me from my injuries.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Dominic, do you run 7 days a week?
No, 6 days.
6 days? Which day do you take off?
Sunday.
Twice a day, Dominic? You run 2 times a day?
Yes.
How many miles do you run per week approximately?
You can say
In
kilometers.
kilometers.
In kilometers, I do 200 to 230 per week.
200 kilometers per week?
Yeah.
230.
230. 200 to 230.
Okay.
And how do you spend your Sunday?
I go to church. After church, I relax with my family.
Kevin, you talked about your brother had experienced grandmas before, so you talked about family. Do you have a family?
I do. My wife's in the back here. She'll be running the marathon as well.
All right.
She'll give her a shout out. She had a little problem, a little injury, so she'll be qualifying for Boston tomorrow. But I have one daughter, and she's about 18 months old.
Congratulations. And to your wife as well.
And who stays with the daughter now?
Just the daughter. No.
Who stays with the baby?
Right now, it's just my mother-in-law is staying with the baby.
For both of you, do you You ever had any trouble coming down to sea level with the humidity or anything? How far in advance of a race would you like to come down to sea level?
I can go first there. I got pretty used to it in college, you know, obviously training at Utah Valley, which is, you know, roughly 5,000 feet, and then coming down a lot. We just come a couple days before the race to sea level, so I got used to doing that, and I don't need much more than just a couple days.
Did you come to Duluth yesterday?
Yeah.
Did you arrive?
And your wife's first name is?
Cammie.
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 Dominic, can you tell us about your family?
I'm married, I have 3 children. Yeah. Two sons and 1 daughter.
How old?
70 and 6 months.
Oh. I know. Your mouth, sorry. When did you arrive in Duluth, Dominic?
Wednesday.
Did you come from Kenya? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Dominic, what's the most challenging race you've won? You've won many races, Twin Cities, Grandma's, Houston, Philadelphia, all over the world. What was the hardest first place finish?
Houston. This year.
This year? Okay, why?
Especially when we went to finish line, the guy was running behind me. When we reached the finish line, we said to go. I said to go. Yeah.
It was very close, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin, for your day job, what do you sell?
I sell a credit card. Work for a company called Divvy. Have you ever heard of it? So if any businesses need a credit card, let me know.
Dominic, for you again, what does it mean for you to run with your friend and training partner again tomorrow?
I'm so happy to run with him because we help each other. Yeah.
If you win tomorrow, do you think Grandma should put you in the Hall of Fame next year?
When you say you help each other,
Yes.
how do you help each other during the race?
The rest?
How do you help during the race?
Control the pace sometimes. When you're not feeling well, you tell me go. When I'm not feeling well, I tell him go. Yeah.
Are you planning to run Twin Cities Marathon this year?
No.
Why?
Because of the price money. Yeah.
Is Paris a goal for you? The Olympics, the next upcoming Olympic Games?
Yes.
Yes. Is the next Olympic Games a big motivating factor for you to try to be on the team?
No.
No. Is that because you can't make the team? Or why? Why not?
Because the selected team already selected.
It's already selected.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Do we have other questions, my friends? Sounds like we're all set. Huh? Okay. Thank you guys very much. Good luck. Thank you for being with us.